One brief moment of glory. And who knows what remains for the future. For Spain is a land of invasions. Today's invaders are friendly tourists, wealth of Spain and her people. The visitors come to bathe in the Mediterranean, to look at the remains of other invaders, a Moorish fortress, a Roman aqueduct, a royal palace built by an alien Bourbon king to rival Versailles. Spain has ever attracted visitors. 3,000 years before Christ, Berber tribesmen arrived from thirsty North Africa. The water of Spain so delighted them, they called it Iberia, land of rivers. The Carthaginians, also from Africa, claimed the land in the 4th century BC. They gave Spain its present name, meaning land of rabbits. Later, Roman invaders came, and it took them 2 centuries to drive out the Carthaginians and subdue the fierce Iberians. Under the Pax Romana, Spain enjoyed 4 centuries of peace and prosperity, the most tranquil period in her entire history. From the north, the Vandals and Visigoths invaded Spain in the 5th century. The Visigoths, Christianized barbarians, ruled as overlords for 300 years after the fall of Rome. But there was unrest in the land. The Visigoths fought among themselves and with the Iberians. And in the 8th century, united under the banner of Islam, the Moors invaded, sweeping all before them. Like the Iberians who had preceded them from thirsty Africa, the Moors found Spain an oasis. But unlike the Iberians, they transformed it into a paradise. The magnificent Alhambra reflects the beauty of Moorish Spain. A level of civilization was achieved that surpassed all others of its day. Cities flourished, and the entire population prospered. But in time, the Moors became divided, and the descendants of the Visigoths and Romans united to drive them out. Castle by castle, town by town, the Christian armies advanced. Finally, in 1492, the last Moorish stronghold, Granada, with its pleasure palace, the Alhambra, was occupied by their Catholic Majesties, Isabella and Ferdinand. 700 years of fighting the Moors had finally produced the Spanish nation. It is fitting that a woman should preside at that birth. Isabella of Castile had united her house with that of Aragon in 1469, and thereby united Spain. Ferdinand of Aragon, Machiavelli's perfect prince of intrigue, extended the power of Spain throughout Europe. He believed a lie in a good cause justified his ambitions to export Spain's new might into other realms. 1492 was that wonderful year in Spanish history. To this castle, Columbus came to report on his discovery of the New World. Flushed with the success of their explorers and liberation from the Moors, Spaniards now accomplished prodigious feats. For once, Spain was the invader, not the invaded. Cortez, with less than 500 conquistadors, subjugated all of Mexico. Pizarro, with less than 200, took Peru. It has been said, in Spain, the cross is in the sword. Christianity welded the Berber, Semitic, Celtic, Roman, Nordic conglomeration of peoples into the Spanish nation, the greatest nation of the 16th century. Gold and silver from the New World tripled the total supply of Europe. But Spain kept very little of the wealth that flowed into her. Much was squandered on European wars. And much was consumed in the construction of magnificent edifices like the Escorial, built by Isabella's great-great-grandson, Philip II. It was Philip who launched the Spanish Armada against England. When the Armada sank, so too did Spain's fortunes, after one lone century of greatness. Life in Spain is like guitar music, sweet and melancholy. Sweet in remembrance of her romantic past and her moment of glory. Melancholy because of what might have been and was not. Because of a people suppressed by tyrannical rulers, and not too long ago, devastated by a bloody civil war in which more than 1 million lives were sacrificed. But the sweet and melancholy life continued, with hope imprisoned behind the Pyrenees. Is it any wonder that Spaniards have become cynical and philosophic? They say that when God created Spain, he allowed the Spaniards 3 wishes. They chose varied climate, beautiful women, and delicious foods and fruit. And God agreed. But when they came back seeking a 4th wish, a good government, God said, that is too much. The Spanish patiently endure multiple government bureaus and their conflicting decisions. Yet throughout their history, they have remained proud and individualistic. This is, after all, the Spanish way. The countryside and its people have not changed greatly over the centuries. Many communal villages still scratch a bare living from wasted lands around them. A common well is still found in the center of many villages, and daily tasks are performed in the same primitive way of past ages. Change has come slowly. Challenging custom, escaping poverty is hard. But now another invasion, the friendly tourist invasion, may give Spain the incentive and the inflowing riches to move out of her lethargy and isolationism, away from stale custom. A carrot before the donkey of Spanish reluctance, revealing a modern new world. Today, Spain is on the move. Centuries of poverty, eons of custom may not be able to stop her this time. New economic policies have brought in millions in outside capital. Modern buildings are under construction. Automobile assembly plants hum. Reforestation program and the upgrading of olive orchards have added wealth and scenic beauty. All along Spain's Riviera-like coastline, fine new hotels lure the tourist. When Philip II moved his capital to Madrid in the 16th century, he decreed that the second story of every new building be donated to the purposes of government. For centuries thereafter, only one-story buildings were erected. But Madrid is no longer flat. Today, it has the look and feel of a modern European city. But Spain is ever a land of contrasts and contradictions. Sheep graze nearby as jets from Madrid's international airport soar overhead. Roots are deep. Barcelona, like the rest of Spain, is linked to a glorious past. She is named after the Carthaginian family Barca, the family name of the great general Hannibal. Barcelona has been described as a Hispanic blend of Paris and Vienna. Though commercially prosperous, her people are as proud of their artistic and cultural traditions as of their material prosperity. The love for water is part of the romantic Spanish heritage. Tradition, custom, have been the cement of Spanish society for centuries. But today a new era of social freedom is emerging. Political rights are broadening, and Spaniards in the cities are learning to enjoy unaccustomed easing of life's hardships. Other freedoms may follow. Today, education, like everything else in Spain, is freshening and on the rise. In new university buildings, better facilities for the young. At the time of the Reconquest, Antonio, the Nebrija, presented Queen Isabella with a copy of his Castilian grammar, the first of any European tongue. He explained, "Language, Your Majesty, is the ideal weapon of empire." And so it proved to be, as Spanish became the basic language of much of the New World. Poverty is an inflexible master, permitting little time for recreation. But in today's Spain, avocations are becoming possible to those outside the aristocracy. A gathering of stamp collectors in Madrid's Plaza Mayor is a familiar sight. Every town and city has its bull ring, where any boy, rich or poor, can aspire to wear the suit of lights. Aristocrats started bullfighting from horseback, but they turned it over to the common people who fought afoot. But tastes change. Soccer, football, and other forms of sport have caught the Spaniards' interest. That great moment in Spain's history is not forgotten. That great 16th century when she was the leading country of the world, proudly commanding the march of civilization. Spaniards remember that greatness, that golden age, in their museums and monuments to the past. That interval of world prominence brought by Columbus. The comic wisdom of Cervantes' observation about them, through Sancho Panza and Don Quixote, the well-intended in a world gone mad. The Spaniard also knows of the riches of the great masters like Velázquez, who was ennobled by a grateful monarch. The El Greco Museum in Toledo reminds him of the mystic brilliance of that painter. El Greco painted some of the most dramatic canvases the world has ever known. with inner fire illuming and transcending the characters of his subjects. Goya recalls the beauty of which Spain was then capable and still is today. It has been said that pride is Spain's true wealth. The pride is still there, but the true wealth of Spain is her people. Today's Spaniard works hard, and he has reason to hope. This hope may grow to certainty, the certainty that life can be full and happy. How strong is custom? How firm is resolve? Age-old yoke of pride and tradition is yielding to the new spirit growing in Spain today. A rebirth